All right, guys, we know what you came here for. We know what you came to see. We're going to do it here. We're going to do it right. And I don't have the freaking chat, you guys. I don't have any Timcast clips for you for a little bit, okay? I might just pull some just for you guys in the chat. I might pull some Timcast clips just for you guys in the chat. But no, okay, but we'll give you guys a break from Tim for a minute. We're gonna shift over to the mystery of the drone, the alien invasion, you guys. What do you think? Alien invasion? You think it's happening? Let's go to Polymarket. Let me see. I'm curious if Polymarket has any bets about the UFO stuff. Let's see. Are the are the New Jersey mystery drones aliens? It's 98% no, 2% yes. So if it turns out it is aliens, you can make a lot of money on Polymarket. And Trump declassifies UFO files, 25% yes, 75% no. So not a lot of faith in let me type in UAP since that's the new fashionable term. No, it's just UFO. Yeah. So yeah, you guys, we all know it. Everybody knows it's the government, but we got some serious speculation in here. So what the hell is it? Okay, if we're going to have a government, can you please at least tell us what the damn things flying in the sky are? Don't you have a space force? Don't you have the most advanced technology in the history of the universe? Like, don't you have can't you just go up there? Don't we have an Air Force? Don't we have helicopters? Don't we have drones? Can't you just go up there and pull up next to it and be like, excuse me. Hey, what are you doing? Who are you? Excuse me, what's going on in there? Are you guys what the fuck? They're standing there and looking up at them like, duh, I don't know what they are. What is that? And they're soliciting help from the public. They're asking for citizens to film with their cell cameras because they don't know and they don't have any way to figure out what they are. I mean, come on, dude. Of course, there's something bigger and more nefarious going on, and we're gonna get into it. We're gonna unpack some of it here in this segment. Maybe not this segment, but as we unpack the whole drone situation tonight for the next hour or two or however long it takes, we will see some conflicting stories. We will see some people's theories, and we will just kind of get to the bottom of it as best we can. Okay, so let's jump into it. We got some Fox, CBS, and News Nation. Boom.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Vito Fasella. I just want to pose a question that I think is on millions of people's minds around here. What if there were 3,000 reports of drones or manned aircraft sightings over the U.S. Capitol or the White House or the State House in Albany? What would happen? There would be an immediate and intense response to figure out what they were and to solve the problem. And yet, millions of people around here, New Jersey, of course, here in Staten Island, and beyond, are getting nothing but don't believe what you see. You know, there's a saying that we had after 9/11, if you see something, say something. I think that's become, if you see something, don't worry about it. Because we saw it too. And the people of Staten Island deserve answers. The people of this city and state and region deserve answers of what the heck is going on. Just last night in my neighborhood, my neighbor sent a video of whatever it is flying over our house. And yet we're told, don't believe what you see. It's shocking to us that here we are almost a month later, 3,000 sightings, drones, manned aircraft, and our folks don't have an answer. We're calling upon not just the New York City Police Department, but others to get involved, get aggressive, figure out what these things are, and help at least alleviate some of the frustration, anxiety that many people share. This is 2024. They're either lying or they're incompetent or they're both. How can we, the United States of America, have this going on and we're told just look the other way? Ignore it. It's no big deal. We know for a fact that there may be some who are, performing some type of surveillance. Well, let's be honest with the American people and treat them like adults and tell them what it is. Yet here we are, standing, because we know recently there were reports over this asset, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Here we are in Fort Wadsworth, one of the oldest military installations in the country. There was, we believe, a drone flying above the bridge. We also know on the other side of the island there was a drone flying over New York Container Port and the Goethals Bridge. And we're supposed to just let it be? Come on, folks, step up to the plate and be honest and truthful with the American people, the people of Staten Island, and solve this problem once and for all. We're in this together. I know we have many folks around this region who are weighing in now, and it's about time. We started a couple of weeks ago asking that, along with the Congresswoman, to include at least Staten Island in any investigation that's going on at the FAA and the FBI. And this is not to take away from them. They didn't start this problem, but they have an obligation to let us know what the heck is going on. As I said, we're all in this together, and representing us in D.C. and Congress is our Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis.
Thank you, Vito. 20 years ago, they filmed War of the Worlds on Staten Island, and now we feel like we're characters in that movie. What is happening is outrageous. Thousands of drones and unmanned aerial systems flying above us, and our government is not telling us who's operating them and for what purpose. I don't believe that the United States of America, with its military capabilities, does not know what these objects are. And what I'm asking, and what we're all asking, is for you to be straight with us and just tell us what is going on. As Vito says, this is creating havoc. People are confused, they're concerned, they have anxiety, they don't know what's going on. There's all sorts of theories that are out there. And the best way to address this is to just be honest and tell the American people what is going on. These are not recreational drones. These are not, I don't believe, commercial drones, because if they are violating existing rules and regulations, which say that they need to be under 400 feet and they can't be operating in the middle of the night between sunset and sunrise. So that leaves two options. It's our government, or there's a foreign nexus. And so either our government is doing some type of surveillance activity or surveying, or what really would concern, I think, everyone, there's a foreign government that is doing this type of activity and surveillance, and they're doing it above sensitive infrastructure, Verrazano Bridge, this U.S. Coast Guard base, the Army installation across the water, power plants, ports. And so, again, just be straight with us, tell us what it is, and let's address it the best possible way so we can calm everyone down and make sure that these don't pose a threat to our national security and public safety.
Welcome in on a Friday, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan. So you see the map there. Let's talk about this. Sightings of drones in the sky, the size of cars, now dominating headlines in New Jersey. Now also sightings reported in New York, Pennsylvania, and in Maryland. The question of what they are now in 4 states and in the minds of multiple lawmakers and even the White House. In fact, listen to National Security Spokesman John Kirby addressing the concerns.
While there is no known malicious activity occurring, the reported sightings there do, however, highlight a gap in authorities. And so we urge Congress to pass important legislation that will extend and expand existing counter-drone authorities so that we are better prepared to identify and mitigate any potential threats to airports or other critical infrastructure, and so that state and local authorities are provided all the tools that they need to respond to such threats as well.
Our CBS News national investigative correspondent Tom Hansen met with a drone unit expert. Tom, a wingspan of 8 feet, and then you just hear him use the term potential threats. What do you make of all of this?
Yeah, well, Reed, that's exactly right. These are huge devices that are hovering up in the sky, and we don't still know who they are coming from, where they are coming from, what they're doing here. But what I can tell you is that obviously the size of these devices is a huge concern, because a lot of people are asking out there, why not just shoot them down? And, you know, even the sheriff that we met up with this past night, he said that given the chance, he would shoot one down too. But these are public safety concerns. Think of, you know, that Mini Cooper, that small car falling from 1,000 feet in the air. That could do some serious damage to anyone who's beneath it. And sorry, my earpiece is falling out here. But basically, you know, that is up front of mind, no doubt, for all authorities here. But we still don't have the answers as to who's behind this. We do know that these are sophisticated things. Another thing the sheriff told me was that basically these drones have been able to outmaneuver the police drones, meaning they are moving faster than the police drones, which can reach a max speed of 40 miles per hour. They estimate that these drones can travel even faster, all the way up to 60 miles an hour. So they are moving quickly at laser speed through the sky.
Tom, we're also hearing of some letters fired off by key senators to the FAA, the Department of Homeland Security, even the FBI. Who sent those letters and what are they demanding?
Yeah, a coalition of 4 senators from New Jersey and New York. They've banded together to push the FAA, FBI, and DHS to get some answers. They want to hear exactly what those federal government agencies are doing with municipal governments in order to get to the bottom of this growing mystery that seems to, you know, continue to grow in complexity as well. So, you know, that really is the basis of their letter. It was to issue frustration. It was to express concern for the public and for instance, critical operations within the public, like medevac helicopters. That was specifically referenced in that letter. So there is mounting frustration. They want answers. And clearly, it just adds another group of people who don't have any answers as to what's going on.
All right, so we're going to go even deeper, Tom. Speaking.
Tonight, a nation on edge.
What is going on in New Jersey?
That's the question on the minds of Americans.
It was the size of a school bus, literally the size of a 2-car garage.
As a national security threat looms in the skies.
This is a truly bizarre story and series of events. Bottom line is that the FBI is utterly clueless about what is occurring.
Lawmakers fed up with a lack of answers from the federal government.
They're saying no threat to Americans.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from.
I do think it's ridiculous that they're not shooting these things down.
We don't really have control of our U.S. airspace.
And the White House keeping the people in the dark.
Has the federal government ruled out that these are controlled by foreign entities?
Yeah.
And do you know if they're conducting surveillance over this area?
I cannot make any predictions or comments about that.
Rich McHugh on the ground as deputies take action.
There's one right over my shoulder, right there.
Tonight, we ask and answer your most pressing questions. Do you believe that what you are seeing is potentially evidence of a non-human intelligence?
Yeah, I think we have to consider that.
And one thing is for sure.
These risks are not hypothetical.
The threat is real.
Hello and welcome to this News Nation primetime special investigating the drones mystery unfolding in our skies. For months now, there have been mystery objects hovering over US airspace, including over sensitive US military facilities and increasingly over crowded civilian areas such as New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and other parts across the continental USA. Tonight, we're going to try and get answers for you. My name is Ross Coulthart. I'm based in Australia, and it's part of the reason why we're telling you this story, because it's a worldwide phenomenon. It's not just happening in the US, it's happening in almost every country in the world. And what's becoming patently clear is the White House, the FBI, and all of the investigative agencies have no answers. So tonight, we're on the ground trying to get you those answers. Our correspondent Rich McHugh has been on the ground in New Jersey all week, talking to people, including gathering this fiery exchange.
I walked out because it was worthless. It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything, okay? It was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it, but they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there. Here's the most frustrating part. The colonel of the state police said that he had a helicopter of his flying above one of these drones, a 6-foot drone or something, I can't remember exactly what he said, and he felt unsafe for his helicopter, so he just let it go. Just let it go. Where'd it go? Who knows? Didn't want to follow it because he didn't feel safe. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? It was just excuse after excuse, and we know nothing. It was infuriating, and I got up and I walked out.
You've been in the service, right?
Yeah, I was an attack helicopter pilot, Apache helicopter pilot in the Army, and I helped stand up the initial unmanned aircraft training battalion in the aviation sector of the Army. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and these guys are not doing the job they need to do to figure out what's going on, and that is the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the state police.
And Rich McHugh's also been spending time with local law enforcement who are searching for answers and not getting many answers at all from the federal government.
Thanks, Ross. When this story first appeared a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey and as a journalist here, I didn't pay it much attention. I thought it was a bunch of knuckleheads and this would be all kind of, exposed by now with a laugh. But the experience I had changed the way I feel about this completely. What we saw was more sophisticated than I think anything I've ever seen before. Take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights. I didn't believe what I was seeing, but what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is? We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted the state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow. And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either. What's your message to the White House?
My message is come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
Now, the Ocean County Sheriff has this industrial-grade drone they put up. They said they were tracking one of these drones, but that drone easily outran theirs and disappeared, which is, if this is not the military, then it's even more terrifying. And we need answers now. Back to you.
Okay, that's probably good on that one, dude. It's like, okay, guys, okay, so the stage has been set. You guys kind of see what we're dealing with here. Is this incompetence? Is this like a stand down? Is this the false flag? Or are they like literally just standing by and allowing this to happen? It's definitely a psyop. We're all getting worked up and we're all being played a fool. I mean, that's just how it is. That's how it goes. So has anything like this ever happened before? LD, are you aware of anything like this? Like some sort of like
New Jersey, one of those clips mentioned War of the Worlds.
Yeah, dude. So like, it's so crazy how they just love to do this, man. They love to just, of all the places. Now, I will say this is kind of interesting because Shelby at Unjected, she was out and about, got some footage. There's drones now in Hawaii, in Maui, and she got video of one like hovering over it was heading towards and hovering over, like, when I say this, like, it'll be like, oh yeah, it was a plane hovering over and heading towards the Maui airport, but it was just like hovering, stationary. She got video of it. She sent it to me. I don't think she's put it out yet, but I threw it through the video editor, zoomed in on it. She said it was about the size of a football field, like a giant aircraft just hovering there. So they're popping up in Hawaii too, like giant aircrafts just hovering, so who knows? And this whole evading detection thing, it's like, I mean, isn't that what we pay you for? Why am I paying taxes if like you can't even like figure this one out? Just silence and just they're like, duh, we don't know. We don't know. Well, you better figure it out quick. What is that? Okay, so obviously all like the world leaders are in on it because the US government, like the whole military strategy is to not appear weak to foreign nations, to appear incompetent. So if they're out there saying like, we don't even know what's going on right above the Capitol, like no idea. So that means China and Russia are looking at it being like, okay, well then just invade America because they're completely retarded and they've taken way too mmany vaccines and too many of their people have transitioned into the opposite sex and it's time to take them down, right? So I mean, it's America's greenlit. If you can't figure out the drones over your own capital, America's greenlit, folks. So it's up to us. I hate to say it, but thank God there's a Second Amendment because that's the Second Amendment for the win in this situation. So this is the key takeaway for the whole drone situation is that the government has demonstrated that they're completely incompetent, that we literally don't have a government. We literally don't have any form of leadership whatsoever in the helm. And we've known that for a while, right? But now it's very clear and very evident. And so America's just wide open for the taking. Canada could invade and take the United States right now if they wanted to, obviously. Because if we can't even figure out what these stupid little drones are, then America's wide open. But Canada knows not to fuck around. China doesn't know. China knows not to fuck around. All of them know because we, the people, are strapped to the gills, boy. We are down for this motherfucking set. Right? Americans are down for the motherfucking set, and we ain't going to let you roll up on us that easily. So that's the key takeaway. Second Amendment for the win all day. There it is. Thank God we have a Second Amendment or else we'd be speaking Chinese right now. I'll tell you that much. Or Russian or a combination of the two. So, but yeah, so throughout history, these types of things have been known to happen. And let's see. So LD, you had that photo, but yeah. So headline, what is this? The Morristown Green. Okay, cool. So this is like this is a New Jersey publication. The Day Martians Took New Jersey. Orson Welles, 1938. War of the Worlds broadcast. So crazy, man. 82 years ago. Whenever this was published. This was published in when was this published? Let me see. Anyway, so yeah, 1938. Morris County, New Jersey residents followed breaking real-time coverage of an alien invasion of New Jersey, or so they thought. A reporter interviewing Princeton astronomy professor Pearson, played by Orson Welles, recounted observations of explosions on the surface of Mars, followed by sightings of a device descending upon a farm in Grover's Mill. After interviewing the farm's owner, the reporter followed police officers attempting to control the growing number of spectators surrounding the otherworldly object until gray tentacled beings emerged from the craft and began incinerating observers with a heat ray. Then the broadcast went silent. Listeners followed along as the National Guard deployed from Trenton and infantry investigated the spacecraft as a massive war machine emerged. This article is not really written very well. Over the next hour, news bulletins from across the eastern seaboard purportedly relayed the progress of Martian invaders as they encountered successive waves of Army and Air Force resistance. So basically, here's an old headline from Morristown, October 31st, 1938. The headline from that says, radio play so realistic, hundreds thought end of the world at hand. So, a scripted event Orson Welles reading the dramatization of H.G. Wells, who's also been covered quite a bit on the show. We know H.G. Wells. I didn't know about that until I started listening to Grand Theft World, that H.G. Wells was such an instrumental part of this whole New World Order plot that we're seeing unfold right now. And the beauty and the poetry of this story, H.G. Wells's, probably most famous work, I would say, one of them anyway, being used and kind of echoed in such a way here in 2024. It's really fascinating. And so, a lot of people have probably heard this story where, they read a dramatization of his book, in the form of a radio play, like an early podcast, right? And it sparked fear that people thought that literally America was being invaded, or New Jersey specifically was being invaded by aliens. And here we are. H.G. Wells's New World Order plan is in full effect. And what are they doing? They're doing another New Jersey alien invasion of all the places. You think there's somebody laughing somewhere, like just chuckling at the irony and just the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Like, it is very poetic. Maybe it's them signaling, that there's always a 33 here and a pyramid there. And then maybe this is their like little symbolic gesture to being like, you guys know what's up. And all the people in their cloaks in their little secret rooms are like, ooh, we know what this is, But yeah, dude, obviously it's something just goofy going on at this point. Like, at this point, if they don't know what's going on, I mean, come on.
Well, yeah. We'll see. We might see. But yeah, so let's see. We'll just do one more segment of the UFO stuff. We're not going to drone on all night with this. But we're going to hit you guys with some a few different perspectives here. Apparently they're showing up in New York now, right? We got Benny. So this is a Benny Johnson clip. Thanks to Lisa coming through with the win on this one. And I guess, that one has a different theory. And actually, I heard this theory, and this one makes the most sense to me that I've heard so far out of any. Okay, so that's the thing is like, if the U.S. government is saying we don't know, the possibility of them not having the technology to know is zero. They have the technology to determine in a split second what is there. Okay, so therefore, I think it is American military assets being deployed for a certain reason that they can't really disclose to the public. So it has to be they have to be friendly aircraft that are up there for a reason that we're not allowed to know. So what is that reason? And then then we got another story that kind of goes deeper into the 50 UFOs that are showing up off the coast, and then unknown frequency work. So we have some CBS News, Benny Johnson, and 2 clips in a row from Redacted. So let's do it.
More drone sightings force a local airport to shut down, the mounting frustration over the mystery in the sky. Good evening. I'm Jessica Moore. The number of drone sightings across the tri-state area has been growing over the last 2 weeks, with more than 3,000 reports in New Jersey alone. And with no indication the sightings are coming to an end, local and state officials are becoming increasingly impatient for answers. As Alicia Reed explains, they also want authorities to destroy any drones that may be considered a threat.
It's smooth sailing at New York Stewart International Airport Saturday night, unlike the nearly hour-long delay the evening prior after a drone in the airspace stopped all flights.
It's always a nuisance.
Drones have been spotted throughout the tri-state since mid-November. The FBI says they've received about 5,000 leads since then.
It's not good.
Only about 100 have led to action by the FBI. In a statement, Governor Kathy Hochul says in part, this has gone too far. She's calling on Congress to pass a bill that will strengthen the FAA's oversight of drones and give select state and local law enforcement agencies the right to detect, track, or even destroy unmanned aircraft systems, or UAS. New Jersey Congressman Chris Smith plans to introduce legislation that would authorize training for state police across the country to track and take down drones.
State police, probably a designated unit could be established, have real experts.
Over 50 local, state, and federal partners have engaged in the investigation, including the FBI, DHS, and FAA. A rep from the Department of Homeland Security says they're confident many of the sightings are manned aircrafts that are being misidentified as drones. The FAA says it is legal to fly a drone during the day or at night, as long as it's below 400 feet and isn't causing a hazard. But restricting airspace is a problem, and that happened here. At Stewart International Airport, Alicia Reed, CBS News, New York.
Stay with.
What's this? What is what? He asked you a question. What is that?
We come in peace. We come in peace. We come.
He says it is a government psyop and we should destroy it.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. We have been reporting on the drones hovering over New Jersey for weeks now. We've brought you all the physical evidence and the videos, and we've surfaced every theory that we thought was viable about what these drones are doing and why. Ladies and gentlemen, our concern has been turned into worry and actual fear now. And the reason for that is twofold. One, all of the professional liars inside of our government establishment and bureaucracy are now acknowledging that these drones are here, that they are operating them, and that they're doing it for your safety. Everyone from Alejandro Mayorkas to the Pentagon to now CIA spooks are coming out saying that it's a classified exercise. Ladies and gentlemen, former CIA officers don't go on Fox News and give unauthorized opinions like this. She's being told to go out and say that the U.S. is testing detection technology. Oh, okay. Got it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a CEO of a military drone manufacturer here in America, in Wichita, Kansas, where an enormous amount of the aerospace engineering goes on in this country, has broken his silence. He's the CEO of Saxon Aerospace. His name is John Ferguson. And he's up with a video that he recorded explaining exactly what he believes is happening on the eastern seaboard and what these drones are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones and Joe Rogan have shared this video, and it is horrifying what the man tells us. And we've checked, this guy is real. He's not faking his identity or what he does for a living. He does manufacture drones. He does sell them to the United States military. He is an expert on this subject. Joe Rogan saying, this is the first video about drones that got me genuinely concerned. Alex Jones saying, I confirm with my sources that this is indeed the purpose and the reason these drones are swarming the New Jersey and New York area. There's a lot more to it. I'm headed to the office report released today. All right, so what does this man say? Let's take him at his word. And let's go.
Hey, everyone. My name is John Ferguson. I'm the CEO of Saxon Aerospace here in Wichita, Kansas. I'm not normally a TikTok kind of a guy. I like watching this stuff every once in a while. But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military-grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here. There's all of these mysterious drones going on off the East Coast, and as a professional, as a subject matter expert, I wanted to give you all my opinion on what I think could be going on with these drones. I don't particularly believe that these have a nefarious intent. I could be wrong, but I want to give you the truth and what I believe. It's my own opinion, and I've not bounced this off of anybody, so, if you think it's bullshit, whatever, that's cool. I don't want to spread misinformation, as we know that there's a lot of that going around. But anyway, back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay. We don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high-level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay? That is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. We all know that. We all feel it. We all see it. Okay? Well, back up a few years. Do y'all remember when those drones were mysteriously flying across the Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up into Nebraska, down here into Kansas, and out into Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material because there had been some material that come up missing here in the United States, and they felt like it was high probability that the nuclear or the radioactive material would be taken along the Interstate 70 corridor heading east or west or south. So from what we understand, they were out there trying to find this radioactive material. Now, drones, they have no reason to be in the air at night unless you're doing some type of ISR work, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, looking for bad guys, or looking for a victim, a search and rescue victim, or law enforcement, or some type of military project, right? There's no reason for a drone to be flying at night, really, okay? Because they don't see shit. So, unless you have thermal optics, drones really don't see stuff. You need to do mapping during the day. If you're going to do farming stuff, you mostly do it during the day. The only reason why you would ever fly an aircraft, an unmanned aircraft at night, is if you're looking for something, whether it be a person or trying to smell gas. We have methane gas detection systems that can detect gas leaks in pipelines. You really wouldn't use thermal optics for trying to find gas leaks, just simply because the only way you're actually going to find a gas leak with thermal optics is if the gas leak is aggressive enough that it has a difference in temperature, because thermal imaging, it creates a digital image based off of the temperature variance. So whatever is different in temperature, it creates an image. Usually gas leaks so slow that it goes quickly into ambient before you can even see it. So we have special sensors that can detect gas leaks. We also have special sensors that can detect radioactive material. So with this gentleman that I had spoken with, who was trying to raise the alarm to try to get somebody in the government to say, hey, we need to work together to go try to find this nuclear warhead, none of that ever happened. They knew that warhead was on its way to the United States. That's all that ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. This government did not do anything at all to help this gentleman raise the alarm and raise awareness that there is a very deadly weapon on its way to the United States. It's out there. Nobody knows where it's at now. It left Europe. Now it's gone. So my own guess, is that these drones are not nefarious in intent. If they are, they are. but I doubt it. But if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying that low is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air other than to piss a bunch of people off at night. That's it. So, my belief is they're trying to smell something on the ground. Gas leaks, radioactive material, whatever. So, and do I think that they're coming up out of the ocean? No, I don't think so. Drones that are multi-copter type drones, not the fixed wing aircraft that look like regular airplanes, but the multi-copters, they only have so much battery life. They have hybrid versions that are gas powered with electric. But those can still only fly for a short period of time. There's no way in hell that any drone is going to go miles off the coast as a multicopter and fly into the interior of the United States and do a bunch of work and then turn around and fly back. It's just physics will not allow that to happen. So these drones, I believe, are launched from a location that nobody knows. But I do believe that they're flying low enough that they're just trying to sniff the ground and try to find something. So, again, I hate to be a pessimist or a guy that thinks, directly to the negative. However, I know as a professional, I mean, we build professional stuff for the military. I believe that they're actually out there trying to smell something that's very important.
Congress is holding hearings right now on all of these drones or UFOs appearing all over the United States. Congressman Smith in New Jersey just a few moments ago said that he's witnessed them as well. Went to the beach area with New Jersey residents, saw over 50 of these orbs coming out of the ocean, flying up to the sky. Like, what in the heck are these things? We can't get answers. Who knows? Why are they flying over nuclear installations? What the heck are they doing? Congress is trying to get answers as we speak. This just from just a few minutes ago on Capitol Hill. Why don't you shoot these things down? Watch.
Here. Is that something that it'd be hard to do? And then why do you need to intercept data in order to do that? If the object is there, destroy it.
So it's a good question. I think the way it works, as I understand it, and my colleagues can talk about this operationally, if you had, let's say, a football game, and you would have a perimeter, it would be declared as a temporary flight restricted area.
Okay.
So around that, you're going to have a buffer zone. You have an area where it's a no-go, and then you have a larger area around that where you might want to detect what's flying, and then you have a larger area around that where you might be tracking, but regular commercial drone use is okay. And so as they're getting closer and closer to the facility, you're detecting originally the signals to see what is that drone. You're trying to identify the drone. Oh, is that a UPS?
Like a long distance radar or something like that.
Exactly. So is that a UPS drone that's just delivering a package somewhere? Let it go on its way. Is it getting closer?
Is that a UPS drone? Right? Is that a UPS drone just trying to deliver a package? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe all of these drones are just holiday shoppers, and they're just delivering packages.
Dropping off FBI jackets at the FBI office.
Or something.
Are they storks? Is it that time of year? Maybe they're baby storks.
Maybe it's just UPS packages. Why can't we shoot them down? Oh, yeah, we're just going to let that one go on. Maybe that's an Amazon delivery. Maybe those are socks that you ordered on Amazon. They're showing up at your house.
I love the government morality of like, yes, we will support a genocide in another country. We will overthrow governments, but we will not get caught shooting down a drone that we don't know who it belongs to. Like, really?
They're very concerned about packages. They're very concerned about UPS packages or deliveries. Well, we finally today have our clearest photos yet of these so-called drones or UFOs over New Jersey. They don't look anything like drones, by the way. In fact, they appear to be orbs. Yes, circular orbs, which we've said on the show repeatedly. This footage was captured on Sunday night in New Jersey and finally released. Take a look at this. So this is a person, using a telephoto lens camera, and you can see here in their viewfinder what they're seeing in their viewfinder. These are circular orbs, some sort of large circular orbs, not drones. Someone got the UFO image with his telescope. You can see from the video behind the camera. You can see this orb is surrounded by like some kind of a field as well. Another eagle-eyed observers have pointed out it's the same kind of field, by the way, that Bob Lazar described almost 30 years ago when looking at these type of craft. There's some sort of a field that surrounds these craft. And according to the poster, the field around the UFO drone looks like it's bouncing light off of it when it's being reflected. Governor of New Jersey, Murphy, was asked about this. Well, what are you doing about this? And he's like, I don't have any answers either. The governor, watch.
The drones in New Jersey, in Morris County, 20, I don't know how many mayors sent a letter to you this morning asking for a clarification. What can you tell us? What is going on, and why is it taking so long to come up with an explanation?
Yeah, it's a good, I don't blame people for being frustrated. Let me say, most importantly, right up front, we see no evidence, and I say we, this includes Homeland Security, FBI, Secret Service, our state police, authorities at all levels of government. The most important point to say is we don't see any concern for public safety. That's number one. Number two, having said that, it's really frustrating that we don't have more answers as to where they're coming from and why they're doing what they're doing. We had
so
last
you're the governor of the state. You're the governor of the state. 49 sightings last night. And
now those
and
include,
you can't.
I think I.
Sorry. 49 sightings over the state of New Jersey. You don't have answers from your government. You're the governor of a state. One of the most densely populated state in the United States, by the way. More people live closer in New Jersey, close to each other than any state in the country. So there's all these eyewitness accounts of this over military bases. And we don't know. We can't get answers. No one will give you, the governor, answers of this? So now we also have eyewitness photos, crystal clear photos of these orbs also now being published. Do those look like drones to you?
No, they look like embryos.
Yeah, they look like some sort of embryo or some sort of massive, I don't know, circular orb with some.
Yeah, you need anybody got a P900, P1000 camera, or you know, if you were zoomed in on one of the luminaries in the sky, like that's what they look like. So I saw a bunch of those, you know, with the twinkling in the front. You know, that's the a lot of theories about that, but we won't really go there on this show. Like I said, go watch Rebunked. We get into these topics a lot more on that show. But also, I just wanted to say too. So that particular clip, we saw 50 UFOs emerge from the ocean and blah blah blah. I don't know if they covered that in this particular clip, and I don't know if they're going to cover it in the last clip that we are going to watch on this topic here in just a minute. But what I was going to pull up here was that there was this the narrative, right, that this is all Iran, and I think that was debunked. There was a claim that said that the Pentagon shot down this Iranian mothership. But there's this guy, Jeff Van Drew, who's a New Jersey congressman, Republican New Jersey congressman, going on Fox News talking about how this is an Iranian plot, that these are Iranian ships. These are Iranian drones. This is an Iranian invasion, Iranian intelligence gathering operation. New Jersey Representative Jeff Van Drew, mystery drones should be shot down. And he's like, intel source tells me they're Iranian. He's like, I can't tell you, but my intel source tells me that it's Iranian, right? So who's this Jeff Van Drew guy, right? Who's this freaking guy? You guys, okay, how about this? Let's play a game. I saw this game being played on a different show, so we'll play a game with you guys here. So in the chat, we'll go to the chat real quick. Let's play a game. Who do you guys think... Oh, wait a minute. Let me get back over it. Who do you guys think is Jeff Van Drew's number one donor? Number one. The one who donated the most money to Jeff Van Drew to say that it's an Iranian plot. Anybody? Wild guess in the chat. Anybody? Number one donor. Anybody? LD, you want to take a wild guess?
Yeah. I would guess it's a very special ally.
Let's go over to Open Secrets and pull up Jeff Van Drew. And look at his number one. Oh, it's the American-Israeli Political Action Committee. Wow. Amazing.
Huh.
Isn't that funny? How that...
The APACs are rolling in the chat. Yep.
Oh, hilarious. So there you go, folks. So I was hoping that Clayton would get to that. Maybe Clayton didn't want to touch that one. But anyway, that's what I was hoping they were going for with the 50 things invading. So we got one more clip in the whole drone segment. and then we'll move on to our buddy Luigi and see what Luigi's been up to this week. But this is just the last one. This is the Bombshell UFO update. Another one from Clayton and the team at Redacted. But let's just watch this one real quick, and then we'll head over to Luigi.
All right, let's do some UFO updates now, because a major update on the UFOs over America over the past 24 hours. And we had this report from the New Jersey State Police now admitting that they have revealed that unidentified drones are operating on a frequency that cannot be detected. Okay, we can't detect the frequency? We don't know, admits the New Jersey State Police. We don't know what these things are. New Jersey Representative Jeff Van Drew now is doubling down on the same claim that he made yesterday, which we brought to you yesterday here on the show, that these mysterious drones are coming from an Iranian mothership off the east coast of the United States. And he slammed Pentagon officials for it at the time, for treating the American people like they're stupid and withholding information about these drones. This is what he said this morning. Watch.
These drones very well could be launched from a ship. It could be hundreds of miles out at sea. These types of drones go much greater distances. These, again, are something that we normally don't see in the United States. So there is a real possibility. Could it be China? Absolutely. Could it be somebody else? It sure could. Here's the deal. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it's about. They haven't taken one down to analyze it. They have no idea where it comes from, but they know that it's not that. I mean, that's nonsense. They do not know what they're doing. Why don't they take one of them down, analyze it, and let us know what's really happening? I hope they know more than they're telling us, but that's disrespectful to the public and to Congress. It's about time they leveled with the truth. Hopefully they'll give us some information this afternoon. But even if they do, it's like a month too late. This reminds me of the spy balloon last year. Traveled the whole country.
Yeah,
wait. Yesterday he said if it was our own government, they'd have told us.
Yeah.
He literally said that yesterday.
He's all over the place with this, but he is doubling down on the fact that these are coming from an Iranian mothership. So he's doubling down on that, but now he wants answers from the government, and he hopes that they'll tell us the truth about it today, I guess. We'll suddenly get answers on this. But he's right about one thing on this, which is that it's been about a month now. I mean, November 18th is when these things were first spotted. And they're showing up in massive numbers, staying up in the air for 6-7 hours at a time, even longer in some reports. And where are they going back to? We don't know. We don't have any idea. Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling BS on all of this. She says this idea that the Pentagon or the Defense Department doesn't know where these are coming from is total garbage. She says they absolutely know. She's calling BS. Watch.
Well, number one, I'm going to call it total bullshit that no one knows what these are. And I think it's a slap in the face to the American people to say they don't know what this is. They can track down a guy that just killed a CEO, but they can't identify what nightly drones are and where they're coming from. I think that is absolutely disgusting to lie to the American people like this, and the truth needs to be told about it. Secondly, if they're telling the truth, then this country is in horrible shape. We're all in danger. I mean, seriously, if our great government can't identify what these drones are, they're flying every single night, that people are sitting out there videoing with their cell phones, then no American is safe. And I have no respect if our government cannot say what these are.
So if we don't know who they are.
Yes, hallelujah to her. So the Belleville mayor of New Jersey also just spoke out this afternoon saying that they were just briefed. 500 different mayors were briefed on this, and all sorts of unanswered questions that he says here in this interview. Watch.
New Jersey has some of the best detection equipment in the nation, I am told. We have by far the most robust equipment, is what the state police told us. The detection equipment is up, but not detecting. These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected. Here's some unknowns.
Sorry. You can keep playing it. Sorry.
And again, they were very transparent today. So some of the unknowns. The state police says, unknowns. We have no idea where they're taking off from. No idea. We have no idea where they're landing. No idea at all. We have no idea who is behind them because, as I mentioned, they are not state, and we are told it is not federal. We have no idea the drone types, as I mentioned before. that they stay up about 6 to 7 hours. And if you're a drone operator, you probably know that that's a very, very long time. We know
so that's all in, we don't know where they're from. We don't know where they're landing. We don't know any of that, right? As Brad Cage writes, a good rule of thumb is if the deep state can't find out who did it, then the deep state are the ones who did it. I love that, Brad. Friend of the show, Ashton Forbes, who's going to be on the show soon here again. We've had an interview with Ashton before, but he's going to be back soon here during the holiday season. But he said, it's too bad we don't have some kind of global persistent infrared surveillance system constantly scanning the entire planet. Otherwise, we'd be able to figure out what these drones are and where they're coming from. Oh, wait, we do. SBIR is the space-based infrared system that we have at our disposal. That's exactly what we have already in place to completely scan the United States and the world, for instance, constantly scanning the entire planet. We know exactly where they're coming from. I mean, we can pinpoint and tell you what the movement of trucks in Russia, for crying out loud. We know what underground bunkers are hiding in Iran, for crying out loud. We know exactly where these things are coming from, but we're just not being honest, of course. And then overnight, we got new images, by the way. Look at this helicopter coming in contact with one of these things in the sky. Look at the size of this thing. So in the back, look in the bottom picture here. You can see the helicopter in the background, and there's like massive craft, unlike anything I've ever seen before. Is this some sort of a man-made craft? It looks like it probably is. The Black Book Project craft that we don't know anything about. That's probably exactly what it is. And then in Florida, now not just New Jersey, Florida, in Plantation, Florida, this woman was live streaming last night on Facebook, and she was showing live these orbs in the sky. And then she shows them, they transform into airplanes and then take off. And she's like, for 5 hours and for 5 days in a row, I've been capturing these things. So watch this as these things transform from an orb and then suddenly just shoot off as airplanes. Watch.
Okay, guys, this is real time live streaming. Drones, UAP, UFO, call them whatever you want. This is not normal. And by the way, the FAA clears. There's no airplanes flying right now in the greater Plantation area. Look how it takes flight. That one takes flight in the shape of an airplane. That one takes flight and eventually, well, it's still looking like an orb. Okay, so let's see how big this one gets. I believe this has some kind of technology that it projects some kind of holographic image of an airplane. I know I sound crazy, but I've seen these now for 5 days. 5 days.
So there you go.
Did anybody else think that the emoji hearts were the drones at first?
Yeah.
People pushing them. And I was like, and they're heart-shaped?
People kept pounding the hearts on that.
Okay, I'm not the only gullible one.
Guys, no, don't worry. We're not doing any Tim. Guys, chill.
Just kidding.
Chill. Just teasing you. In fact, you guys are going to love me. There was a Tim clip coming up in the next clip, but I got rid of it for you guys. Okay. Your boys got your back here. Although I didn't get rid of it, I moved it to the end of the clip list. So I have like multiple Timcast clips in a row in case all of you in the chat need to be bludgeoned. Okay. Keep my eye on all you. We're having fun tonight. We're having a blast. Dude, I'm loving this. This is great. Of course, prayers to Richard. Hopefully he's healing. And hopefully he can rest easy knowing that, the crew has got his back, dude. We'll step up when needed and we'll take care of business, man. Yeah, that's just, it's so crazy, this whole drone situation. And like, of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene's right. Obviously we're not being told something. We're being kept in the dark, which fine, whatever. I think that this is, this is pain. Again, you guys remember when we talked about the very beginning, are you starting to connect the dots? Are the dots starting to connect for you a little bit here? Trump is the good guy. There's this mysterious drone situation. There's hints that it might have something to do with Iran, right? Is this Iranian plot? These big Iranian plots have been kind of looming in the background. The stage is being set, guys. The chess pieces are moving. They're being put into position. Certain things are happening. And I think we all kind of know what's going on, you guys. Like, there's going to be a big conflagration in the Middle East. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to create awareness and getting information out there so that Americans don't have to go die for Israel, which is what's happening right now. And it's like the perfect storm, you guys. They've gotten themselves deep into financial turmoil, and they need to get themselves out somehow, right? And so they've got a big plan to get themselves up from under this monster that they've created, this creature from Jekyll Island that has gotten so far out of control that the weight of it is suffocating the whole of humanity. And they're like, fuck, we messed up. We got to get out from underneath this thing. And so, you know, why not a giant war, right? War is good for business. You know, financial collapse, right? There's all these things that they're like never let a crisis go to waste. That is their MO. That is how they roll. That is how these folks operate. And they, as we know, they're willing to kill. They're willing to take down buildings. They're willing to blow up innocent people. They're willing to do anything to do it. So it's our job in this information war to get this information out to as many of you as possible so that you can take this information, take clips of this show, and share it with anybody you think that's receptive to it. Share it on social media. There's no reason why this show shouldn't be getting millions and millions of views a week. The clips and everything. There's absolutely no reason. This show is the best show on the internet by far. Hands down, 100%. And it's up to you guys to do your part to help get this information out in front of everybody, okay? That is how we will win. That's how we save lives, okay? Taking clips of this show, sharing it to as many people as you can is how we will win, okay? And so I'm not just saying that like selfishly as being a part of the show and wanting to see the show grow. I mean, that's obviously, you know, what is in everybody's best interest, but also, you guys, like this is how we save lives and how we get this information out there. So we put the information out. It's up to you guys to share. You are our force multiplier. Take clips. Use Clip Genie. gtw.clipgenie.com. Take as many clips of the show as you possibly can and get it out to as many people as you can. It's how you boost your social media. You boost your social media by taking our clips, editing them, you know, making them your own and sharing them on your social media, dude. There's lots of every week, week in, week out, there is just constant viral content on this show. And, you know, I'm just as guilty. I should be taking clips of this show constantly and putting it out there. But, you know, I think there's a lot of value in that. If anybody out there is looking to grow their own social media presence, taking clips of this show and putting it out on all the social media platforms is definitely the move.
Everyone's doing some kind of self-help these days, and you can find a million self-help courses out there. Most other courses out there are hosting lectures. They're hosting videos, they're maybe even doing Q&As, and these are great starting points to encourage learning. But at Autonomy, we believe that hands-on practice is the best way to really lock in what we're learning. There's no better way to gain confidence and mastery than through action. After each lecture, we practice the concepts we've learned with other students, giving and receiving feedback in a non-judgmental environment. The result is mastery of concepts like entrepreneurship, ethical sales, and self-reliance in an environment that directly translates to the real world. Plus, you make connections with other like-minded individuals who are learning right alongside you, and you have a lifetime membership in the community. The Autonomy course with Richard Grove equips you with confidence, competence, and courage in a world filled with confusion and noise. You can learn more at getautonomy.info. We'll see you there.
What makes the Grand Theft World podcast unique, invigorating, exciting, and informative? Most other podcasts out there are either doing straight up interviews or they're just covering the daily news. They're covering current events from the day they happened. And that is effective. It's useful. It's a great starting point. And then sometimes these current events change during the week past the first story. So we like to give it a little time. You have to wait till some of the dust settles on these stories in order to give them accurate coverage. And the other thing that's really missing in the media landscape is covering the articles that are coming out every day. That's great. That's necessary. But who's bringing in contextual history so that you can understand what has been going on for decades and decades to lead up to the machinations and actions that we see unfolding today? So what we do here on the podcast is we cover current events. Many of these things are censored, but we wait about a week. As a forensic historian, I focused mainly through my career on the history of globalism and collectivism and things that they call maybe the New World Order. there's a lot of facts to these sort of circumstances, groups, events, activities, working groups that they've had over time. So for Grand Theft World listeners, we not only break down the current events, most of which that are censored during the week, we provide you with contextual history, we give you the source notes, the references, we do deep dives, and this really empowers you with an understanding of context and history so that you can make more informed decisions in your life. There's also a community, a membership where you guys can actually ask questions and we can get into the show and we can share evidence. And there's a town hall weekly for Grand Theft World for those who listen to it and are interested in covering the stories that we don't get to during a 6-hour show. Listening to it an hour a day, you could easily consume the week's news, but you're going to have substance and meaning and context and understanding. And with that, you can make higher quality decisions in your life. So if you're interested in more quality in your life, go to grandtheftworld.com, click podcast at the top, and we'll see you there. Thank you.
These allegations are false.
This isn't Grand Theft Auto, folks. This isn't a video game.
What are the most surprising things that you discovered once you started pulling on that thread? Who he was connected to, what institutions he was influential over, what events he participated in?
Come on, man. What are we talking about? Come on, man. No.
You don't have to think about it, dude.
I got this quote because you said you didn't know much about Klaus Schwab. I made it my job to, as soon as this happened, I'm like, okay, this guy's their front man. Let me learn about the official history of the World Economic Forum. I got their 40-year history. I got every book that Klaus Schwab has written or ghostwritten. I went through those books. This is one of the most interesting passages.
Come on, man.